By the way, if we wanted to get somebody out of that prison in El Salvador, we could do it. Bukele has nothing on us. Like he is literally like a patron state who we are paying to hold our slaves. We could march on in there and just take them out. There's nothing he could do. The idea that like once they're sent over there, there's nothing that we can do because they're in a foreign country and we don't have authority there, total bullshit. I don't believe that for a moment. The administration that talks about invading Canada, invading Mexico, invading Panama, invading Greenland, and then they're like, here's El Salvador, a broke-ass client state that is utterly subservient to us, that has absolutely no power. We could send a Black Ops team into El Salvador to castrate like El Salvadorian government officials, and there would be no international consequences. Nobody likes them. The only allies they have are us. Nobody gives a shit. We have infinite power there, okay? And and we are currently paying them to house our fucking gulag prisoners. The idea that we couldn't just say, let that one out, is ridiculous. If they say that they don't want, or they don't have the ability to remove somebody from that prison, it is because they just don't want to. Has there been an official explanation of why prisoners can't be returned? No. Of course, no, and they will never provide one, because of course they can. They can if they want to. Or because he's already dead. I mean, what they probably really don't want, and the reason why we have these prisoners being sent to a concentration camp outside the country, is because we don't want journalists looking in on what's being done there, you know? The people who have been sent there are being tortured every night. They just don't want them released back into the United States, where they will then be, like, given interviews by every single non-Fox News, non-OAN, non-Newsmax company, and describe at length what's happened to them. Okay, we don't know that, Vosh. No, we do. We do have information about CSOT, the Supermax prison in El Salvador. We know. We do actually know that. Seriously, I didn't know that. Oh, no. It's hell on earth. You're getting tortured by the prisoners. You're getting tortured by the guards. It's not a secret. Isn't the policy once they enter the prison, they'll never leave? Yeah, but that's, like, fake. That you could say that about a prison in the US too. You could like illegally send somebody to prison and then it's like, well, no, once they're there, they can't leave. Why not? Why can't we just make them leave? Well, the policy says so. Okay, well, it's an illegal policy. Abergo Garcia's attorney, Simon Sandoval Moschenberg. Simon Sandoval Moschenberg. It's a kind of beautiful name, I think. It's a bit of a mouthful, but I think that's quite charming. Told the judge he was dismayed that the government had done nothing to get his client back, even after admitting its errors. Plenty of tweets, plenty of White House. Yeah, like they took two last names. Sandoval sounds Latin. Moschenberg sounds Jewish to me. Latino Jewish name. Simon, well, that's the name of the protagonist from Gurren Lagann, so clearly that's a Japanese first name. I don't know, just a mix. Or it's just Simon? No, I think it's Japanese. Sandoval Moschenberg brushed aside a question about possibly seeking compensation. He said this case is solely about getting his client back to the U.S. It'll be a victory when Kilmar is home with his family, he said. An apology would be nice, but I'm not expecting that, he added. The judge's ruling came shortly after Abrego Garcia's wife joined dozens of supporters at a rally to urge her husband's immediate return. Hold on 1 second. Let me, a rally has recordings, doesn't it? Yes, it does.
The case of a Maryland man mistakenly deported to El Salvador. ICE admitted he was taken into custody due to a clerical error.
What do we want? ICE out of Maryland! We want it now! What do we want? ICE out of Maryland! We want it now! What do we want?
Earlier, his wife, along with the group CASA and his attorneys, attended a rally demanding he be returned to Maryland, where she expressed the pain her and their family have dealt with since her husband was taken.
In a blink of an eye, our 3 children lost their father, and I lost the love of my life.
En un parpadeo, mis hijos perdieron su padre y yo perdí el amor de mi vida.
His mother lost a son. His siblings lost their brother. Our entire family is broken by what, in nice words, an error.
This is porn for conservatives. Yeah, that is like, no matter how obvious an error of justice this is, there are literally like tens of millions of Republicans in this country who would look at this and go like, good, he's like illegal or something. I don't know. They watch this shit and they laugh. They love it. Like, obviously, they just want non-white people out. A significant number of them. Or they're so, like, baked into the cult, they genuinely think that every person who's been deported is an illegal immigrant, no matter what, even if the Trump administration admits that's not the case.
Su madre perdió su hijo, sus hermanos perdieron su hermano, sus hijos perdieron su padre. ¿Y por qué? ¿Un error administrativo, como lo está llamando ICE?
Can we make being evil illegal? I personally think that, like, once this is all over, whether that takes 10 years or 100, we need to regard the idea of a human being an illegal immigrant the same way as, like, a person dropping the N-bomb with the hard R, you know? The idea of, like, or any language that's comparable. Like, it's so obvious that the root... Like, we are literally killing ourselves. Like, this country is self-destructing because of an imaginary problem with undocumented immigration that we created for ourselves for no reason. Like, on every level, we both created the problem and then made up the severity of the problem. It was no, like, and as a consequence of that, we have arrived at a point now where the entire right wing of this country, and a lot of the people on the left wing, or the Democrats, I guess I should say, they genuinely believe that legal asylum seekers are illegal immigrants creating crimes and invading the country. Like, this sentiment needs to be understood to be just as toxic ideologically as the most virulent form of racism. Like, this kind of xenophobia is an ideological parallel. And when people are racist, they just substitute in the xenophobia as a way of doing the racism without having to say it. Like, I'm sorry, this guy was not an undocumented immigrant. Why do you think ICE picked him up? Let's just put our thinking caps on for a second. Did it have to do with his, you know, residency status or something else? Come on. They hate the bulls? Cucks often do. We'll be following this case with interest in the near future. Very, 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 very interested in seeing how this one goes. The judicial pushback against the Trump administration, it's basically like, I don't want to say it's the canary in the coal mine, because the canary in the coal mine is already dead, but, you know, it's important to keep track of. I am from El Salvador. I have been told that those sent by the USA are in a separate section of CSOT, not among the Salvadoran gang members. I have not heard that. If that is true, that is genuinely good news. That is genuinely good, because basically every American who is sent to CSOT will be in solidarity with each other. Like, they're going to be together in that. Whereas if they get thrown into Gen Pop, like, one of the people who got sent back to El Salvador was literally somebody fleeing an El Salvadoran gang. So it's very possible they would have just killed him. It also means it's complete bullshit that they can't bring them back. Yeah, 100%. Nah, and I'm only taking a random chatter's word at this. I'm only saying that if what you're saying is true, if they are being sent to a different section of CSOT, that is a good thing, and I am happy to hear that. Illegal aliens, the most racist shit in the world. Literally, how, like, dude, and the Democrats are fully the normalization of rhetoric like this. Just drop the N-word. Literally, like, what the you're treating human beings as, like, literal subhumans. Like, what the It's insane that it's... To be clear, by the way, in the future, they will treat the widespread use of that term the way we treat, like, the N-word or anything else 50 years ago or 100 years ago or whatever. Like, the fact that it's just accepted now is insane. Absolutely wild. I literally saw Matt Walsh call Jasmine Crockett DEI hood rat congresswoman. It's literally the mainstream position. Well, Matt Walsh is, like, unambiguously a Nazi, so there's not really much surprise there. Why did that chatter donate $2 just to disagree with you? I don't know. I didn't see. Okay, yeah, you guys. Okay. You guys have a lot of links. Thank you. Holy shit, guys. Down 2,300. You don't need to give me literal rolling updates on the market. It is the main thing we're covering. It's not rolling updates anymore, Vosh. The market just closed. Yeah, I've been here the past 2 streams. People keep giving me aftermarket updates too. I'm not falling for that one. Cybertruck owners say Tesla will not accept its own vehicles as a trade-in. Yeah, that sounds about right.